And we are back with more Dwarf Fortress. Histories of greed and toil. And we stand on the precipice of year 16. And I don't know if this is going to be a short stream or a long stream, because I took a much longer nap than I intended to. Kind of threw away most of my night. So if I get junk sleep before work, it's okay because I banked decent sleep after work. And tomorrow's Friday anyways, so who cares? So we might do one season, we might do two. All I know is it's year 16, and this is going to be the year in which we fully establish the Bank of Waters. We're also going to be working our metallurgy even further, fine-tuning it, you know, having more people assigned to smelting, more people assigned to wood burning, well, assigning people to wood burning, and possibly assigning more people to working in metalworks. So that way we can just produce everything at a faster rate. Which will mean there might be a point in time in which we're making some junk armor and weapons purely for the sake of improving the skills of my dwarves. But that's something that we're going to take moment to moment. You know, we've got the Magma Forge, we're working on making that greater. We're gonna add a pub, a bit of an inn. And on the second floor, we're gonna really fill out that bank. And then we'll see. You know, we didn't do that much for clothing last year. It wasn't that heavy of a push. So it's probably about time that we start producing some more clothing for our dwarves. So I think those are some of the main objectives continuously. Clothing, armor, coins, books. But there is one thing we're going to have to do, and that's get our military prepped to go into the Underdark. Because I need lumber. Real amounts of lumber, and it's just not happening with the surface. I'm running out of trees. The forests, they hardly even exist anymore, and I need to change that, like, immediately. So that's part of the plan. But I've been rambling for 10 minutes. Let's continue our active game in the world of Umamnar, the Dark Oblivion. And as I've stated many a time, we are returning to Ineth of Ral, the city of wonders. Of wonders? No, the city of waters. And I guess it is also the city of wonders. It's the first of granite, early spring, year 16. And we're a little over halfway through our intended playthrough of this fortress, and I'm really hoping that we can establish religion in the next couple of years, an organized religion. It's kind of the one thing I haven't been able to do in this fortress yet that I really wanted to do. You know, we've got literature going. We've got 8 different works that we produced out of the fortress, which I'm pretty happy about. You know, if we look, we've got Principles of the Mountain Home, understanding the dwarves, it is the mountain home. We see winds, the mountain home, before and after. Great genius, a humble offering to Solon Matchbell, and never underestimate the mountain halls. And I'm pretty hyped. We've got 8 pieces of literature. I don't know what the other civilizations in this world are doing for literature, but I know that we are pumping out, you know, the earliest works, you know. And we've got first editions, second editions, all the editions. And it's all because the City of Waters. But we have novels, so you could call it the City of Wonders. My dwarves think. They contemplate. We've got so many people praying to Barrows. General worshipping. People praying explicitly to Barrows. More people over here. This is good. Ah, yes. Poor kitty. The kitty got drunk and did not survive the party. Yeah, we got rooms being set up. I do feel like we're gonna have to build a second Hall of the Dead. I guess a third Hall of the Dead. Now we look up here. This little design, the glass bridge. Down the umbrella. We have our bank. Look at that. Look at this vault. Those are dollars. That's shmoney. Shmoney in the bank. And then come down to 21. How are things looking down here? I believe we already have this guild set up. We do, yeah. The Metalsmiths Guild. Okay. So. Let's look at our current work orders. Alright, so we're just kind of finishing up a few things. Let's see, what's the tanned hide situation like? Okay. Okay. So I want to make leather shoes. And by some leather shoes, I mean 100 pairs of leather shoes. And I'm gonna make some leather gloves as well. We're gonna do 50 pairs of leather gloves, 100 pairs of leather shoes. And if you look at cloth, so that's kind of an easy way to do that. I'm gonna do silk robes and silk hoods, and we're gonna make 80 of each. Okay, and then I'm going to make 100 yarn socks. 50 yarn loincloths. And 50 cloth loincloths. And then after we've got that stuff made up, we'll start making up some other clothing as well. Yeah, because of the distance that my crew needs to go, I'm definitely gonna want to increase my my labor pool. Gonna be necessary. Like when they were all working on like the main floor, easy peasy, but we were running through supplies way too fast. You know, we can't sustain that. I believe we're also pumping out rock blocks out of some of these spots. Yeah, we got some sandstone. Sandstone, sandstone. Once those... Okay, we're back. OBS disconnected for a moment, but we didn't miss anything because I noticed it immediately. As I was saying, once the bauxite doors are made, I'm going to start making marble statues for these grand mausoleums, kind of like in the entranceways. And yeah, they're going to be of the original 7, plus Etham, and possibly Melville, and who knows who else. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, this one is full up. So let's see. Let's go down to Metalworks and look at this real quick. Yeah, so I can definitely up the quality of my Metalworks. just quickly changing something. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. Nope, nope, not that. I want to do... How's that? Yeah, I think that might be it. I was using the like auto noise suppression on OBS. And I think it was just cutting out a lot of my my audio because of how, you know, some of those things work. It's waiting for that split second of how things start and then how things end, and it doesn't really let you fine tune it at all. Whereas this, yeah, I think this is probably better because there's causing a lot of weird digital artifacts with audio. So, furnace operators. We've got 8 furnaces, I believe. Time to recruit some people. Yeah. 18 furnace operators should do the trick. I think we'll throw Aerith on clothing since he's a legend. Okay, we're recruiting people. Taking the peasants. Pump operator. I'm gonna take 2 more. Stonecutter and the bone carver. So armorers. Okay. I think I've got... Yeah. So I got 18 furnace operators, 18 weaponsmiths, 18 armorers, and 18 blacksmiths. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully the best of the best get better, and the new lads can train. Yeah, I think that'll, actually, no. We're gonna do more book bindings. Well, why not goblets? Why not goblets? And copper book bindings. Is there anything else out of copper we should try? Yeah. Yeah, we'll make some bolts. I don't even know if I have enough copper. Let me look at this again. I don't. Alright. And then... let's look at our furnace operations. So, hematite, magnetite, tetrahedrite, limonite. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Hopefully the reality is everyone's happy with their new job assignments, the new skills that they're gonna learn. I've got this guild open to the public, right? Yes. Okay. That is going to be the longest pause of time. We're doing it at the start. And, yeah, if something big shows up to attack us, I'm not going to do what I did yesterday and get scared for 20-30 minutes. Because, there really wasn't that much need. Because we slayed the fuck out of Karud Evholatoziz. A giant theropod that had an aura of kindness and giving, but you couldn't trust that aura because it was a lie. It was a ferocious beast. And we cut his arms off. And then Obok, the duck, the Titan Slayer. He finished the deed. All right. Nearly 40 minutes in. We really should get started. At this pace, it might just be a single season stream. But you never know. You never know. Depends how long the season goes. So, we're gonna rip the Penji, slam some beer, and get right into it. Because ultimately, it's better if I go to sleep a bit early so I can wake up in time to buy the Fallout franchise after my payday comes in at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I can get all the games that I want for under $30. Hell yeah. Oh, Penji's hitting hard. Wow, it doesn't normally slap like this near the end. I'm impressed. I just realized there's 2 dead cats in the pub. Uvash and Udib. Interesting. This one doesn't say why it died. This one it says it's covered in dwarf blood. Is this thing drowned in dwarf blood? No, they must have gotten drunk somehow. I swear they must have died from alcohol poisoning. There's been no violence. Alright. The time of Dali is coming to an end. And we're finished with dillying as well. No more dillying, no more dallying. It's time to get to work. Alright. It's the first granite, early spring, year 16. The wet season has arrived. Spring has arrived on the calendar. Let's go. Alright, our cat corpse is already being dealt with. This is good. Got a lot of dwarves dancing. Look like little ants marching. Ooh. Get more teams going because a lot of dead pets. Oh yeah. That's a banger. That's how you open the new year, man. Party. Partying and grinding it out. Hell yeah. Damn, a lot of pets have passed away recently. What? Oh, that tomb is not for Cog. This is her tomb. We don't need to be working on these unicorn helms, guys. Nope. Get rid of that. we're doing real good right now, though. We've lost some pets, yes. An unfortunate thing. But for all we know, some of this was just age. Some of it was just age, you know. A lot of them did, scrap with the Forgotten Beast. Do we still have Obak, is my question. Yeah, Obak, Titan Slayer. Look at that dude. Dude's a fucking beast. Like Obaka's actually like bought the longevity of all drakes in this fortress. You know, out of all birds, chickens are default. Of course, you're gonna keep the chickens, but I'm keeping all the ducks too. Alright, we're making soap again. Our mark stores be training. Though I really am curious as to what's causing the death of all these small animals at once. You know, when it's birds, cats, it made some sense, but now it's just, there's a frequency that's arisen quite quickly this year. Not a fan of it. It gives an unsettling feeling. Have we been cursed? But we have no enemies. Gotta move it out of there. Only some people have the constitution to go to the boneyard. We got a lot of puke going on. How's Big Dog doing? Cole or Lore? He's having a drink. Oh, he's got the full drip. Cole or Lore has got Gegethrickthlut. This is crazy. I've never seen him fully dripped. For a moment, I thought maybe he couldn't drip out like this, but dude is drip lorded out. Oh my god. You know, like, yeah. He's got some older trousers, some worn gloves, and he's only wearing one shoe for some reason. I don't know why. But, you know, his dress, which is just a long shirt. When the guys wear it, it's a long shirt. We don't have tunics. That's just the way it is. I wish we had tunics. They took those away. So we wear dresses for shirts. Or vests. But vests aren't very popular here for some reason. So, he's got the dress. There's a shirt. He's got his trousers on. He's got his robe on, But then he's got drip. Absolute drip. Because he's got a Belgashud, a black bronze crown. You can't tell me that shit don't look fucking fire. It's a simple black bronze crown, but that's all this dude needs, because it's everything else that just like completes the fit. You need to have some stuff that's a little subtle, and then some stuff that really exemplifies it. And that's why we've got Uzithasne. And people love Usithsatnang. People love this shit. And its name translates to Grimbleach. So we'll call it Grimbleach because that's just a little easier to pronounce. But so Grimbleach here is a Cassitrite scepter. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with baguette cut pink jades, studded with steel, decorated with bugbat leather and acacia, and encircled with bands of round Cassitrite cabochons and baguette cut pink jades. This object menaces with spikes of steel. On the item is an image of Ezen Pleticrafts, the dwarf, and the dwarves in tetrahedrite. Ezen Pleticrafts is surrounded by the dwarfs. The artwork relates the ascension of the dwarf Ezen Pleticrafts to the position of queen with red guild in one. On the item is an image of square cut gems in pink jade. So it's mostly Castrite and pink jade. And it's got even more pink jade and more Cassitrite. But it has steel spikes. So don't think that this thing won't fuck you up if you get clocked upside the head with that. Grimbleach? Oh yeah. Shit goes hard. And if you thought, the Duke wasn't spiky enough, well then we got Gegethrickthlut. This is a bulky llama wool cape, so it's a big ass cape. Big shoulders, like Captain Titus, Space Marines type bulky ass cape. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with llama wool and encircled with bands of llama wool and featherwood. It is made from llama wool cloth. This object is adorned with hanging rings of sandstone and menaces with spikes of cowlinite and iron. And the way I like to think about it is he's got big iron spikes on his shoulders, and he's got spikes of cowlinite running down his back. On the item is an image of eight-sided prisms in alpaca wool. On the item is an image of dwarves in sandstone. The dwarves are traveling. The artwork relates the foundation of Sterncrafted by the ultimate tongs with the red guild in one. On the item is an image of Amaze Impaled, the Carambola wood floodgate in Kalinite. On the item is an image of Grimbleach, the Castrite scepter in steel. So on his cape, on his big cape, is also the image of his Cassitrite scepter in steel. So there's just a lot of drip. The uniform really ties itself together, between the cape and the scepter. Cole or Lore, he's fucking drip lord right now, dude. He is the drip lord. He's got no relations with the king, with the queen, which I find interesting. Let's get to Stott. Does the Stott have any of his stuff? Nah. Wait, nothing? No, he's got his helmet on. Yeah, he's got Ramato Thor. He loves Ramato Thor. This is a water buffalo bone helmet. All craft worship is of the highest quality. It is decorated with cave spider silk and encircled with bands of water buffalo bone and single cut brown jaspers. This object is adorned with hanging rings of carambola wood and menaces with spikes of acacia and lime wood. On the item is an image of a cloud in gypsum. And yeah, I like to imagine it's like a bone helmet, of a buffalo skull, and like the spikes are like a mohawk. Acacia and lime wood. Maybe they alternate colors, or it could be Liberty spikes. That could be cool too. But it's punk as fuck is the way I'm seeing that. And the other person who's got some drip ideally is our queen, Eason Pleecrafts. And no, she is not holding on to much other than Nomadath, which is a sandstone bracelet. All craft worship is of the highest quality. Mind you, Eason loves bracelets. Sandstone is kind of like the definitive color of the City of Waters, so it's nice that the queen's wearing that. It is decorated with llama wool and purring maggot leather, and encircled with bands of candlenut, donkey bone, and cushioned cowlinite cabochons. This object is adorned with hanging rings of lay pewter and menaces with spikes of sandstone. On the item is an image of round cabochons in tetrahedrite. On the item is an image of 3 dwarves in dog leather. So yeah, she's got some drip. She also does have a crown, chance-wept, as well as crystal yor, Zasokang, which is her scepter. She's just not wearing them at the moment, but that's fine. We've got Drip Lord, blah, 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 I can't speak words. Drip Lord Cole over here, and yeah, I'm just happy to see the big dog in it. But it's strange because he still wants to acquire objects, he wants to wander, he wants to admire art, he wants to be with friends. But I so very rarely see him doing jobs. He's just constantly picking up equipment. Well, he just put down his scepter. He put down everything. Except his cape. Well, it started raining. Yeah, we're making pretty good progress. Oh, there's another dead cat. Another dead cat? Another dead cat. What is going on? What is happening to all my pussy? That felt wild to say. Yeah, it'd be cool if, who knows, maybe someday I'll start posting my world files if people ever want to do adventures in those worlds. Because if you can set up a good world that's worth adventuring in, that'd be fun. We got people working down here. Yeah, it's gonna be a hot minute before I got enough blocks. But look, we got Bar City, man. Oh, and the bauxite doors are almost done. Which means we can set up more apartments. And then we can make those marble statues I wanted to make. And then hopefully I can glaze a bunch of statues, ideally in tin instead of ash. Ash is fine, but tin would be cooler. Because the way I'm imagining those statues looking is kind of like the Mortal Kombat 1 map arena, where it's got like all the champions statues in the back. Which you know, say what you want about Shang Tsung, he showed respect to the whole gang to get them all statues made up. Even Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Sonya. Wait, did Sonya get a statue? Yeah, no, they didn't leave anyone out, did they? But to have more rooms. We got people working. Five of those. Five of those. We're putting those in the Queen's burial chamber. Figurines. Oh shit, we got migrants. Inspect these folks. A swarm of pixies. They're cute. A tiny winged humanoid with shifting colors which performs intricate aerial dances in large groups. Who do you pray to? Nice. Who do you pray to? Oh wait, you weren't here. Who do you pray to? Nobody? Asked. Delborbs. Who do you pray to? No one? You can also go to Dwarfs. Head off together, lads. You. Who's your god? No one? You go to Orbheld. You. Your god, what's his name? Don't have one? Orbheld. Ah. You go to Misty Bodice. Misty Bodice. Silver phrases. Silver phrases. Welcome home. Stop. Your god's name? Oh, welcome home. Ma'am, your god's name. A couple merchants. Good to have you, Soltig and Atir. Yeah, Zahn. Welcome. Welcome to the club. These are the people we're looking for. God, go to Dwarves. Dwarves. Where's the tier? He still hasn't shown up, okay. Nice, Barrows. Oh, here's an interesting name, Kel. You pray to the right god and another traitor. Excuse me, miss. Your god's name. See, that's the issue. You're gonna need to go to Dwarves. Melville. Oh, yes, welcome, welcome. Hold up there, Lacotte. Ethod? That sounds like an orb-held god. Hello, Atir. Good to have you. Barrows welcomes you. And even with all those people we sent away, we still gained 10 devout followers of Barrows, the Fatal Urns. This is good. This is what we want. Boom. Just like that. There's anything but a housing crisis in the City of Waters. Here I am, easily solving the problem that so many real-world governments can. They just can't seem to figure it out. Oh, how do we solve the housing crisis? Build more houses. Dig. Oh, we got a lot of beasts. Yeah, I know how I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna make those out of marble. Another dead cat. Look at this. 154 followers? I'm out of coffins. Oh, we got a fair amount of leather shoes introduced to the fortress. Like almost a third of my dwarves can now have some fresh kicks if they wanted. Yep. We've also got the leather gloves done. Still working on the silk. Still working on the socks and underwear. Almost got the lye and the soap made up though, so that's nice. No new written works. Disappointing. It's fine, it's fine. I'm sure we'll get something worked up this year. Yeah, we'll get 20 steel mill shirts made up. Brings us one step closer to having our army fully kitted out. If I'm gonna train my dwarves to be, you know, badasses, I want them in the most badass gear, you know. Yo, Odam Turbim, the Hammerlord, has bestowed the name Utharod Lolor Linon upon his steel shield, which roughly translates to First Tunneled, the Letter of Continent. Okay. Can't tell me this isn't gonna up the quality. So I'm pretty sure a way that I can force it to use the tin to glaze instead of the ash is if I just forbid my ash bars. I'm assuming I've got tin. What happened to my tin? Okay, so I don't have tin. But I do have the ore for it. It's cassiterite. Alright. So we're gonna start making some tin. So we can glaze our statues in tin. We're gonna need a lot of sandstone blocks before we can get this this underground pub going. Shame you can't make leather book bindings. Oh. Kadal and Miller sparring with each other.
make some coins.
Yeah, we're gonna make 8 stacks of coins. All different types, likely to be all different qualities.
Take our archers off duty for a little bit. Let them breathe. Let them live. Yeah, hopefully once that's set up, the queen will consider her gravesite to be a grand mausoleum. I mean, come on, jet black stone, coupled with platinum steel, and artifact earrings, and a gold sarcophagus? Come on. I don't even understand how this is considered a grand mausoleum when it's so much more bare bones compared to hers, but you know. Teach their own, right? Okay, who's got my coins? Where are they? There they are. Oh. They're here on the ground. Alright, well let's look at the coins we have now before they all get hauled off to the bank and it's a little harder to find them.
probably end up finishing our beer and end up going to grab another one. Oh no. What a horrible fate has befallen me. Alright. Let's look at the coinage we've made so far for year 16. This is a stack of 500 Angdomas 16 silver coin. This is the silver currency of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a rendition of the Prince of Gorges, a masterfully designed image of an octahedral octahedron. The image is the symbol of the Red Guild, a dwarven civilization. On the coin's back is a well-designed image of a pepper plant. Cool. So those are the silver coins. Bronze are being made up. Here are the gold coins. This is a stack of 500 Angdomas 16 gold coin. This is the gold currency of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is an exceptionally designed image of 2 square-cut gems. On the coin's back is a finely designed image of 2 perch. And then this is the stack of 500 Angdomas 16 copper coin. This is the copper currency of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a rendition of the Prince of Gorges, a masterfully designed image of an octahedral octahedron. The image is the symbol of the Red Guild, a dwarven civilization. On the coin's back is a superiorly designed image of Eason Pleaticrafts the Dwarf and dwarves. Eason Pleaticrafts is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Eason Pleaticrafts to the position of Queen of the Red Guild in 1. And here we have a stack of 500 Angdomas 16 bismuth bronze coins. This is the bismuth bronze currency of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a masterfully designed image of Eason Pleaticrafts the Dwarf and dwarves. Eason Pleaticrafts is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Eason Pleaticrafts to the position of Queen of the Red Guild in 1. On the coin's back is an exceptionally designed image of smooth pebbles. And here we have a stack of 500 Angdomas 16 black bronze coin, or as we like to call it, the Angdomas BBC. This is the black bronze currency, BBC, of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a finely designed image of the escorted call, the gypsum earring. On the coin's back is a superiorly designed image of Eason Pleaticrafts the Dwarf and dwarves. Eason Pleaticrafts is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Eason Pleaticrafts to the position of Queen of the Red Guild in 1. Here we have a stack of 500 Angdomas 16 lay pewter coin. This is the lay pewter currency of Angdomas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a masterfully designed image of Eason Pleaticrafts the Dwarf and dwarves. Eason Pleaticrafts is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Eason Pleaticrafts to the position of Queen of the Red Guild in 1. On the coin's back is a superiorly designed image of dwarves and Zenith fortresses, the black bronze crown. The dwarves are embracing Zenith fortresses. The artwork relates to the making of Zenith fortresses into a symbol of the Duke of the City of Waters by the Red Guild. By the Red Guild, an unknown creature in the late winter of 13. Interesting. So they made a crown embracing Duke's, like they made a coin embracing Duke's crown. Cole is that beloved, even though he's not close with many people. Everyone knows him to be a very reliable Duke and manager, and you know the balance and composure and a lot of the happiness for the dwarves all comes down to Cole's leadership, his organization, the fact that he carved a lot of the fortress out himself in the early years. Cole really is a high quality duke, and it shows that they would go and make a crown for him, a coin commemorating his crown, showing the dwarves embracing his crown, and in many ways embracing him. It's just by embracing the crown, it shows less weakness. You're not embracing the duke himself, you're embracing his crown, but you are still embracing all that he represents, because that's Cole the Lord, baby. He is all about the City of Waters. It's his city. He would die for a city. But he's not a swordsman. He's got some hammer skills. But the reality is, when it comes to Cole the Lord, he's a wrestler. My boy wrestles. And we got 2 more sets of coins being made. So right now, O'Neill is minting bronze coins. Apparently got into an argument while minting bronze coins with Cole. But let's look at these bronze coins, because this is a stack of 500 Angdamas 16 bronze coin. This is the bronze currency of Angdamas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a well-designed image of point-cut gems. On the coin's back is a rendition of the Prince of Gorges, a masterfully designed image of an octahedral octahedron. The image is the symbol of the Red Guild, a dwarven civilization. Alright, we got someone apparently on their way to mint these coins. Is it you? No. A lot of people socializing down here. People will literally walk a full day to socialize in the Metal Guild. Who's got the mint coins? Who's minting? They got the sterling silver bars. They're bringing them down. See, it's taken Aswell Copperborn a hot minute to get to the Undercity. Mint those coins. Oh yeah, coins minted. Alright, let's peep the last stack. This is a stack of 500 Angdamas 16 sterling silver coin. This is the sterling silver currency of Angdamas from the year 16. On the front of the coin is a superiorly designed image of a bark scorpion. On the coin's back is a masterfully designed image of dwarves and Grimbleach, the castrite scepter. The dwarves are embracing Grimbleach. The artwork relates to the making of Grimbleach into a symbol of the Duke of the City of Waters by the Red Guild in the late autumn of 13. For some reason, the Red Guild is now being considered an unknown creature. We're that much of a force in the world that we're not just a civilization, but we are an entity. And I fully support that. Oh man, Cole, you got some drip. So coins have been made. We have coinage. 8 stacks to be exact, and we'll probably make 8 more stacks. We can come up with some other metals. And those coins will be brought up to here and added to the pile. And then we'll have to start making more coins and even more coins. There's going to be a point where we actually are going to pump out just a ridiculous amount of coin this year. I just want to see like what sort of metals we have a surplus of. Probably be some iron, maybe some copper. You know, a lot of coinage. A lot of coinage. It's going to be great. I'm excited about it. But the coins are done. Statues. So we got a statue of Ease and Pleated Crafts. This is a marble statue of Ease and Pleated Crafts. The item is an image of Ease and Pleated Crafts, the dwarf and dwarves in marble by Atir Lilarmosis. Ease and Pleated Crafts is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the ascension of the dwarf Ease and Pleated Crafts to the position of Queen of the Red Guild in 1. So we're going to make some other statues. So, let's get some names real quick. Thicket and the Nearfoth. Alright, Thicket Rhyme Sack. And Marble. English Cotton Nom. Cool. Malbil and Mikamost. Ooh, Cole has it. I didn't see his demand. Yeah, we'll make 10 silver chests for the queen. How is that not considered a grand mausoleum? Matters not. We'll put more artifacts in there. Got her chests. Wishfur's eating on his billing table, his billing throne. Yo, we got so many people praying. Whoa. Yeah, yeah. This is good. I do feel like we're making big steps towards getting an organized religion going at some point.
last day of mid-spring. It's 28th of Slate. Yeah, we're making some good progress on everything. Like, first to Felsite. Late spring. Life in the fortress seems pretty good for most of everyone. You know, it could get better for a few. But I think the fact that our dorms are completely unused, our dining hall, almost no one ever uses the dining hall. Everyone's always in the pub. It's a very communal thing. The dining hall, the mess halls, really just an artifact from the early fortress. Same with the dorms. The dorms serve to remind me when I don't have enough bedrooms, which ideally shouldn't be for a little bit longer. Especially, as more dwarves filter in, I'd like to filter my non-Barrows affiliated dwarves to other locations. Alright, so the thing I'm gonna do real quick is I'm going to go grab another beer. Yeah, we're entering the last season. You know, there could be another party. Be nice to have a drink for that. And yeah. We'll see what the last month of spring has in store for us. But I feel like we're inching closer and closer to establishing a religion. You know, some might call it a death cult. I don't think praying to a goddess of death is inherently a dark thing. I really don't. The Abbey of Oblivion, like, come on. 154 worshippers? That's like 40% of my dwarves. And if we start filtering more of the non-believers out of here, we just get closer and closer. Thankfully, our queen, she prays to both Shadim and Barrows. We can ignore Shadim. Shadim is not necessary to us. But Barrows, I can't help but feel like you pray to a goddess of death, eventually you're gonna figure out the secrets of life and death, and before you know it, death is but a temporary state. Imagine the Lich Queen, Izum. It could happen. It would be pretty cool. Though if I were to trust anyone with the powers of necromancy, it would 100%, without question, be the main man, Cole Allure. How the... fuck is the queen still saying that's not a grand mausoleum? Alright, let's look at some objects that we can throw in there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just swap those around. That's 100% gonna make it a grand mausoleum. What do I need to for silver? I know I have the ore. Ah, yes. Tetrahedrite and galena. I think I'm already doing tetrahedrite. But I have galena, so we can use that. Wait, do I have that set as perpetual? I do, okay. Perfect.
Oh, right. I was gonna grab a beer. Alright, let me go, get a brewski real quick. Alright. Let's crack open a cold one. Woo! 2 a.m. Perfect time for a beer. Tell me not how to live. I've got hundreds of dwarves to look after. Woo!
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my bars and we're going to restrict ash. No one uses ash. So I think the only two things that you can make glaze with is ash and tin. Ooh, Lunikinem! I knew it. Ooh, Medtob Ruthalolok, the Spearmaster is bestowed the name Uzdedartob Ruth Kesting on a steel spear. Which means steel combines the domain of meteors. They're getting pretty ornate with their namings. And Sabregarithadil, the bookkeeper, has bestowed the name Shishigdum upon a steel warhammer. Sheshekdum might sound a bit better. Which means titmouths. I don't like that. I don't like that either. Shishikdum, Sheshekdum, or titmouths. Neither seem optimal to me. I don't like titmouths. Not a fan of that one. And look at her loincloths done, though. Now we're just gonna be on to the silk robes and hoods and the yarn socks. Let's see. Marble statues. That's where I want to look. So we got Melville, Izum. Let's see, Melville and Izum. Okay, so they're still making those two statues. I guess they gotta go all the way down to get the marble, bring it up, and then carve it. But like we've got a lot of people praying consistently and using the temple spaces. This is I think this is boding really well towards establishing a full and proper religion. Okay, so she's finally happy with her her tomb. Extremely lavish. Alright, yeah, it's just some humble drip. I gotta get him out of this pickup equipment loop, though. I'm putting him back on mining. Just to give our miners something to do. Maybe this will help coal lock in. Ooh, Cole's 69 years old. Nice. Wait, out of yarn? I am somehow. Okay, well, we'll cancel the yarn socks. And the yarn loincloths. Right, cloth, trousers. You got a lot of trees growing. Oh, we got so many people praying. This is good. Like this has to lead to something. Look at this. This is... Something's going on. Like, this is growing. Like, this is becoming a part of, like, the day-to-day lives of my dwarves, is to come pray. All I had to do was put a statue where, like, they could easily do it when they're going about, like, their, you know, their regular duties. But then when it's like, oh yeah, I want to commune, there's a place. Oh yeah, we got the 16 coin up in here. What you doing? Oh, you're making sandstone blocks. Still got quite a few lads partying, which is always nice. Not many people in the library, though. No new written content. Well, the queen's starting to get her chests, so, you know, she's almost got all of her material needs satisfied. It would be nice if we could get her and Cole together, though. If Cole went from being the Duke to the King Consort. Whew. Oh, but it's the 21st of Felsight, so we are in the last week. We're in it. Alright, well, we are producing iron bars. Not the fastest rate, but they are being produced. I mean steel bars. I think the next thing to make steel-wise is probably going to be helmets. And then we'll do gauntlets, greaves, leggings, boots. There's still a lot of steel that needs to be made. But look, our dwarves are still partying. That's a strong crew in the pub. Switch our military so that way come the autumn they're already doing the thing. Ooh, and look at that, Kadal Jumblish Lagam, our hammer, has bestowed the name Elurukid upon a steel warhammer. He was not giving up that hammer. He's like, no, that's my hammer. Violent Fed. That's a sick name. Let's look at our pigtail stock. So we're going to process 100 pigtails. And then we're going to mash 100 plants, which ideally will be pigtail, and they'll make some more sheets, more choirs, more books. Come the autumn, and we're gonna be selling more literature, spreading knowledge to the masses. Honestly, we can put these lads onto some training for a little bit. You know, let the dwarves finish their jobs. Let the royals get into some wrestling. Cole's got the best outfit though. He's got his cape. It's kind of a Macho Man type vibe. Weather's cleared. We're right at the end of Fellsight. What are you eating? Strawberries, yo. Yo, wait, is there still that room full of strawberries? There is. Fucking Rawl. The dude's obsessed with strawberries. Damn, Rawl's got a lot of clothes. I love there's just a room full of strawberries though. If I ever come back here as an adventurer, I'm stealing Rawl's strawberries. Take his berries. Yeah, it's the 28th of Fellsight. Ooh. There we have it. That was the spring of 16. We produced 8 stacks of coin. Might try and produce 8 more. You know, 16 for 16. You know, we're trying to fill that bank up, so we got to be a little more aggressive with producing coinage. Because there's been some years where I've only done like a couple. You know, we got a hefty vault that we want to. You know, we want to be impressive looking, so we got to do it right. But yeah, you know, right now we're just in the midst of, you know, making more clothes, trying to produce, you know, more alcohol. I'm gonna get rid of this for next time, so that way we're gonna make the jugs, and then we'll do the honeycomb. Process the pigtails. We're gonna mash it into slurry. Then we're gonna press the slurry into sheets, and then we're gonna turn those sheets into quires, and we're just gonna have more and more books, and more clothes. Let's look at some preemptive stuff though. Bars. Do we potash? We do. So we're going to fertilize. So that way we can get a higher yield. Okay, so both Zasokang and Tenched Souvenir are just sitting in the field. It's an interesting choice. We are doing big pigtail push. So, no cave wheat. Okay, so yeah, at the start of the season, we'll fertilize and we'll get a higher yield of pigtail, so we can produce more clothing and more books. Because I like selling books, because I'm pretty sure the more settlements acquire these books, the more dwarves show up with learned knowledge. I honestly haven't been checking new dwarves to see if any of them have any learned knowledge. Something I'll have to start looking into. Before we call it a night, let's look at the fort. So we've got 327 dwarves at the City of Waters, which is the capital of our civilization. Our origin point, Sterncrafted, had 100 dwarves. Submerged Bridge has 60. Galley Line has 100. Misty Bodice has about 75. Orbheld has about 75. Silver Phrases has about 100. And Dalborbs has about 100. So we want to start sending more people to Orbheld and to Misty Bodices. And those places will soon all have 100. I would like to get a military push going at some point. I'm not sure if I want to send them up to the lair of Cruel Scars or down to the lair of Heart Tamed. I could also send them to the Cave of Blossom Scars. We don't know what's there, but we could find something. There could be creatures. There could be treasure. And for all I know, this could be the lair of one of the creatures that I've faced. One of the beasts, the mega beasts, or are they semi-mega beasts? I'm honestly not sure. Let's see. So there's Aswaldomus, which is the Merchants of Guilds. And then there's Angdomas. Okay, so Bull's the Baroness of Sterncrafted. She has far less power than Kohler Lore. Kohler Lore has as much power as Izum within the City of Waters. He probably has more power within the larger fold of the Empire. You know, they're close, but honestly, you know, Cole leads the City of Waters. Kohler Lore is the leader of the City of Waters. He's got 4 settlements economically tied to the City of Waters, and they're all thriving, doing as good, if not better, than the 3 settlements that are directly under the Queen and the Baroness's rules. Yeah, so Cole's really, you know, he's been the one who's been expanding the empire of the Red Guild more than anyone else. Right now we're a kingdom. We are a kingdom. We're a kingdom in the making. But once we expand beyond this little range of mountains, then we'll start to be an empire. So right now, we're forming the kingdom of the Red Guild. But one day, we will be the empire. And like, there's really not much, you know, to worry about nearby. You know, the mountain range to the east, there's really not much. You know that there's some dungeons and some layers. Nothing, nothing crazy. There's some human settlements, some elven settlements, more human, um, more elves, but most of this is all inaccessible. A little bit to the north, there is some goblin pits, but you know, they're unlikely to reach us. Their numbers aren't intimidating. There's dwarves far, far to the north, about 300. And those are the whip of competitions, and there's also the whip of workers. So there's the two whips at the north end of the mountain range. Oh yeah, we got elves deep in the south. Again, not a concern. You know, I think out of all the civilizations, I think the Red Guild might be the most powerful. Even though we don't have a massive army. I believe we are ultimately the strongest of all civilizations within the Dark Oblivion, the world of Umamnar. Any rumors for 16? Nope. A lot of elderleaf, slabs. No other known pieces of literature. Unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. But that was the spring of 16. So let's do the thing. Let us save and return to the title menu. Save to the main save. And there we have it. That was Dwarf Fortress. Histories of Greed and Toil.